I've realized that the panel we're all on is named after the flaneur, who is a kind of idler, a kind of drifter, a kind of dawdler. I would like to see the person in the city much more as an activist, an instigator, somebody who causes trouble and doesn't try to escape trouble. Since the 80s, stuff of mine hasn't been, as I see it, hasn't been art, but is architecture and design. And the differences to me is that architecture and design, you're in the middle of something. You're in the middle of a space. Whereas art, you're probably somewhere outside looking in on something. Of course, there can be some kind of overlaps. So I want to start with the 80s. A piece called Room Dividers. Corrugated aluminum walls, making this kind of closed volume in the middle of a space. When a person comes in, the person starts to realize that these corrugated walls have some kind of door pulls, so you can change the contained space to a kind of U-shaped space. Once it's a U-shaped space, you can move the walls so that there are four volumes, four housings, four wall-contained units. At around the same time, in the 80s, I should say something about the studio. It's important. All the stuff comes from not me, but from Acconci studio, and I think it's important that if there's an attempt to make a public project, it should come from not one person. It should come from at least three people. One is a solo, two is a couple, the third person thickens the plot. Even the Catholic Church, which I grew up with, knows this, since it introduced the Holy Ghost. Okay, so an attempt at a furniture piece, 84, 85, ladder lounge chair. It's these store-bought aluminum ladders hinged together, but then they can unhinge to make a lounge chair. Not the easiest lounge chair to sit in, but more like the structure of a lounge chair. Okay, going to the 90s. And again, I think the future of architecture is that it has to move, and it has to move because of people's use of it. Until that can happen, persons are subjected to architecture. Only when the persons start to be able to manipulate the architecture can maybe the person have some kind of power. Okay, in the 90s, a piece called Mobile Linear City, a tractor and trailer. It can be driven to wherever the person wants. Once it gets to a place, these four other units can be pulled out of the trailer. The corrugated walls can hinge down to make a table, to make a seat, to make a bookcase. The last unit, the smallest unit, since a small unit fits into a larger one, the smallest unit has a working stove, a working shower. On the left of the slide, the wall that's usually up holds a toilet. If you or somebody wants to use the toilet, you bring the wall down, and now you can sit on the toilet, but your ass is exposed to the outside world. Okay, same decade. A piece called Personal Island. It was done in Holland, so it's a place with a lot of water, but also kind of contained water. So on the shore, on the grassy shore, is an aluminum rowboat. It's kind of dug partially into the soil. A tree comes out of the front of it from a kind of grass-covered soil. It faces another rowboat. So the rowboat on the shore you can use as a kind of park bench. If you don't want to use it as a park bench, you can go out on this kind of circular island, and now you have your own kind of rowboat or that you can take out to the water. Same decade, a project that Acconci Studio did with Stephen Hall Architects. It was a renovation of at that time probably the only kind of quote gallery in New York that concentrated on architecture. Storefront is about 75, 80 feet long. It's very narrow, and its widest part is about 9 feet wide. Its smallest part on the other end, the far end, 2 or 3 feet wide. So Stephen and Acconci Studio, I should say Stephen Hall Associates and Acconci Studio, working together, thought that maybe all we have to do is affect the wall of storefront. So we cut shapes out of the wall, and now these shapes start. Now these shapes can be pulled out either vertically or horizontally. It was probably one of the first projects that I started to think that maybe we can be. I don't know if we can be. I mean, all the people who have worked for me through the years have all been architects or have all gone to architecture school. I went to neither architecture school nor art school. I went to writing school. I went to the University of Iowa Writers Workshop. So my stuff, admittedly, comes from words. If it comes from words, it probably comes from concepts. Okay, to the zero zeros. Sometimes when a project moves, maybe it's not exactly empowering users. This was a project done in I think the year 2000 in Munich. The site is the Munich Design Department building. The building, the kind of 4 buildings come together, making a courtyard. And I was struck by the fact that this land is below, above. So I'm not going to get as far as I want, but anyway, above is a tower, and on the tower is a wind turbine. So it's activated by the wind. It stores electricity, and on the land below, a ring is separated from the rest of the land, and the ring is on kind of machine parts. So the electricity keeps the ring very slowly but very constantly moving. So you might be facing a person, talking to the person. You blow your nose, and now the person is 7 feet away from you. Okay. Again, in the 2000s, we, like a number of other people, thought that we had some kind of obligation to try to make a proposal, though we weren't asked for a proposal for a new World Trade Center. So what we proposed and what we proposed was a World Trade Center full of holes. Our premise was, if a building nowadays is going to be exploded anyway, maybe a building nowadays should come pre-exploded. So we made a replica of the plot of the World Trade Center, extruded it to a height of 110 stories high, more private office space than anybody could possibly need. So we shot cones through it, making this building that's full of holes. It can act as a kind of urban camouflage. A terrorist flies by above, looks down, and says, "We don't have to bother about this building. It's already been dealt with." The important thing to us was, now that there are holes, the rest of the city can come inside. Parks can come inside. Street vendors could come inside. The kind of gray tube at the left is an elevator shaft. The white tubes are waterfalls. From park to park. Okay. Obviously, I would love to go further, but we can't. Thank you.